Boom, what up? Solo Keegan only here, just getting back from machine gun jackhammering my dick for the past 7 months. Today I'm going to be talking about the different kinds of players you'll see in League of Legends Ranked. Whether they'd like to admit it or not, every League player, and I mean every League player, fits into a category, often shifting types depending on things such as the state of their parents' divorce or how far they are from reaching their 13th birthday. Although rare, it is possible for one player to rapidly shift categories throughout the span of a single game, but this is exclusive to those diagnosed with bipolar disorder. The purpose of this video is to identify some of the different types and teach you how to play with them, as well as help you figure out which type you are, and suggest ways for you to play and use your disabilities to your advantage. It helps to know who you are, to know where you're going, which realistically, as a League player, isn't much further than a long-term career employment at Walmart. Now without further ado, the first category is the for fun player. An average for fun player can be identified within the first 20 seconds of the game, based on whether or not they type good luck have fun, closing parenthesis. They're frequently found AFK in games to pick up their pizza and or Uber Eats delivery, oftentimes complaining about how their driver, Abdul, is 2 minutes late, causing them to miss more of the game as if it wasn't their fault they decided to order food than queue up for a League game, leading to their team losing Baron, mentally combusting, then completely collapsing due to infighting, and eventually losing the game all because some fuckhead couldn't wait 20 minutes to get some food.
Look at this shit show bot lane, the 4 fun players.
More often than not, this is the category the aforementioned bipolar players initially fall into, until an incredibly stressful event, such as a teammate going 0-1 in lane, befalls them. If you suspect you're playing with a for fun player, you can confirm your suspicions by checking their op.gg. If they're on a champion that they have a 0-7 overall win-loss with in your ranked game, congratulations on your accurate analysis. With any luck, their caretaker will have loosened the straps on their helmet before letting them onto the computer. The only way to survive a game like this is to take control. Not of the game, since that is entirely in the hands of the mentally deficient individual. No, you have to take control of the player themselves by channeling your inner wrangler. Hopefully, by hovering around them, you'll be able to trade something for their inevitable kamikaze into the enemy team, whether it be a kill or objective of some sort. Unfortunately, the best course of action is one that must be taken by the for fun player themselves. So if this sounds like you, for the betterment of the League community as a whole, I recommend you take the following steps. After pressing play, tick that little box next to blind pick, press confirm, then proceed to start your League game. Next is the Addict. These are the players that hate the game, but are physically incapable of stopping themselves from playing it. They usually forsake things such as jobs, friends, hygiene, and generally anything that would make them a functioning member of society. The Addict is most commonly found in the D4 area of the ranked ladder. Often, these once bright-eyed League players, upon reaching D4, began developing illusions of grandeur, imagining themselves as the next Faker. They then proceeded to dedicate the next 3 years of their life to a pipe dream, eventually washing out and leaving them a husk of a person now stuck in D4 purgatory, playing a minimum of 14 hours a day. Occasionally, you can see these players in after-game lobbies posting their stream links, hoping to become a big streamer to justify their wasted time and addiction. If, for whatever reason, you decide to click on their stream link, there's a 50% chance you'll hear them telling their mom to get the fuck out of their room for asking them to get a job, a 50% chance they're doing a VOD review to find new ways to blame other people for their mistakes, and a 100% chance they're listening to some type of rap or EDM music that's louder than their microphone. As a result of their overdependency on League, they usually begin to develop a hyper-toxic attitude. So, if you spot someone in your game typing GG, go next 6 minutes into the game because of a 2-kill deficit and spamming surrender votes if you're at any point behind in the game, it's very likely that you're dealing with an addict. There are 2 separate options for dealing with these players when they start raging. The first is to cock ride them so hard they develop an attachment, which should be easy considering their social deprivation.
Go, Keegan. My man Keegan's the best. My man Keegan makes the best decisions.
Yeah.
We the best, Keegan. Keegan's a comedy expert. We the best. My man Keegan's the best.
Knowing that they're probably going to play another 1,000 games, these players need to be given a reason to give a shit about the game they're currently in. And the best way to do that is to feed their ego as much as possible. The second option, and the path I usually take, is to hit them with statements such as, "Shut the fuck up, nerd." Then, after the game, in an effort to help them become a better person, report them in hopes that they receive a temporary vacation from League, allowing them to wean off their addiction. If this sounds like you, my recommendation would be to seek out disability checks for gaming addiction at your local underfunded VA. We're the real heroes. The veterans of solo queue rightfully deserve to be treated. Next up are Vlad players. Incels. The next category are the people of the late night plague, and by that I of course mean the people who provide you with the late night cock and ball torture experience you get for playing solo queue later than 3 AM. You'll generally catch these players accusing other players of being boosted while simultaneously in the process of boosting someone's account. They can often be characterized by their unique statements such as "Chow ni ma," dog player, and I fucked you mother. They also take great pleasure in telling players they have no father, sometimes even going so far as to insinuate that entire countries have no father. The likelihood of one of these players taking responsibility for their action is the same as the chances of a certain country recognizing human rights, although lack of ability to take responsibility for their own actions seems to be a shared trait among many League players, regardless of sect. Another distinguishing factor is their apparent dislike of Americans, which is kind of weird because they willfully decide to play on a server full of them where they also have to deal with 200 to 300 ping. I'd recommend avoiding these players at all costs by only queuing up earlier than 3 AM. However, if your addiction to League carries you late into the night, be sure to bring a friend with you, because victory is often decided by which team has less people angrily spamming boxes. If you're queuing up late at night, good luck and Godspeed. I hope you win the coin flip, and hopefully, someday Riot will take my suggestion to build a great firewall and make Brazil pay for it. The final class of players we'll be identifying this video are the EU players, also known as that one guy who had his gamer zone set as underground on Xbox 360. These are the people who think other people are intimidated by them when they make threats in League chat, often trying their hardest to act hard or like they don't give a fuck, to put up an appearance they think makes them look cool. Players like this tend to have a thick skull and a fat fucking ego, but rest assured, the only thing special about them are their needs. In reality, these are the people who are likely paying $50 a gram for weed in a legal state. Usually, you'll be able to spot these people early on into the game by their excessive use of XD and their L9 tags. If you start seeing the signs that you're playing with one of these people, be sure to begin mentally preparing yourself for the Guantanamo Bay experience you're likely to be put through. Once inevitably angered, they will begin digging as deep as they can into their developmentally disabled brains to deliver the best insult they can muster. Afterwards, there's about a 95% chance they AFK or start soft denting, and about a 5% chance they realize there's a rioter in the game and play it out in a futile effort to reduce their sentence on good behavior. And the likely event you lose a game with one of these players, there's also a high chance they close out with a Cancer Kid GG as a last hurrah before they get chat restricted. The recommended course of action for dealing with these players is to hope they don't decide to AFK and to immediately mute pings, since it's almost a guarantee that they'll be used exclusively for spam ping question marks on people. Under no circumstance should you directly engage with them. It will always devolve into flame, even if you're just trying to compliment them. However, don't let these players hold your dick in a vice, making you too afraid to say anything out of fear for them AFKing. Instead, power move it by aggressively disregarding them by saying things such as, again, shut the fuck up nerd, or why is this guy talking to me? So long as you don't engage in full conversation and make sure they know that you don't recognize them as a person, there shouldn't be any problems with one-off statements like this. They should be able to handle them, as these players are the direct opposite of the NA player, which are incredibly sensitive and can't handle any sort of flame or critique. But that's a topic for another video. Alright, I'm done.